Hey, everybody, welcome to Talk Wrestling bonus time here on the Jeff Meacham Network. Big G up in the house. What's up, Big G? Great to have you here. Did a little audible today. We were going to do the No DQ review today in about an hour at 7 Eastern, but we've had circumstances beyond our control come up, so we have postponed that show until Saturday at 7 Eastern. So stay tuned to Aaron Ref No DQ on YouTube for that this Saturday. I have a lot to do today. Got my shit done, as it were, on the moving front and the packing front and the delivery front. So I am open for conversation. So as the ticker says below me, if you'd like to ask me a question or present a topic for discussion, please place it in the comments or post in the comments. I was close. One off the top of my head there, so forgive me. I do want to, before I get too deep in the weeds on answering y'all's questions, and I do want to answer y'all's questions because you guys are the most important thing in my professional life, is you guys, including Kobe. What's up, Kobe? Let me just say, for the record, as I make this so it's more camera friendly. There we go. You know what? Brian brought it up, so I'll go ahead and throw it in there right now. What do I think about the drama between Vince Russo and Ryan Satin? I don't know how to say the fucker's name. Doesn't really matter to me. You reap what you sow, and I'm not saying at all, right off the top, that anybody dying is a example of karma, an example of comeuppance or whatever. But in my experience with Ryan and my readings of Ryan, he has been nothing but shit stirring and controversial in a negative way. And Russo is just the king of that, right? He is that's really bad, that glare on this. So I'm going to put those off for now. If I can't see you guys, I'm sorry. Russo's been the king of that for over 20 years, and they are very much like an old married couple where they get so much alike they can't stand to be around each other, and they're very much bitching each other out, and it's quite funny to see, quite frankly, because neither one of them are worth anybody's time of day. And the fact of the matter is, it's funny that they're both got a bitch with each other now. I think it's funny, and not that again, Ryan's girlfriend's dad passing away is awful. It's tragic. I know exactly how that feels. Trust me. But again, you reap what you sow in this world. If you're going to get out there and be a shit stirrer and not like the poo flung back at you, you're in the wrong business. And I've learned that firsthand. So it sucks. It does. But oh well. Let's see. Thoughts? Okay, I can't see. You're gonna deal with the blue and the shade and the specs. I'm sorry, I can't read without them. So let me bear with me here. Old sucks, kids. Thoughts on Angel Garza becoming Vince's new favorite Raw wrestler, and Vince comparing Garza with Eddie Guerrero. I had not seen that, but I like Garza. I do. I have liked him from the beginning. But to compare him to Eddie Guerrero is a little much for this fan's understanding. I like Angel Garza. I think he's a tremendous talent. I don't think he's Eddie Guerrero. I think Eddie Guerrero was a special talent. I think he's a rare talent that you only get once in a lifetime. That style of athlete, that style of charisma. So a little early to compare the two, in my opinion. Nick Glavin, hello, how's it going? Wonderful, yeah. Thank you for asking, Nick. It's going very well. I actually, about 20 minutes ago, finished my weekly therapy sessions, so I am very much talked out on the personal life. It's good stuff. Dustin Grimes, I'm not sure if you watched or not, but what are your thoughts on Ricky Starks in AEW? I am so happy for Ricky. I love Ricky Starks. I wish he had more of an opportunity to go in NWA. as I'm a fan of the NWA products, but I understand, the NWA is what it is right now. So hopefully he will do well in all elite wrestling. Easy for me to say. I like Ricky a lot. The kid has, I can't know how old he is, nothing but upside. He's very much like a Rhea Ripley. Nothing but the moon to soar to and beyond. So hopefully AEW does right by him. He does right with AEW, and we see the potential unlocked in Ricky Starks. He's a great wrestler. Favorite episode from the Dark Side of the Ring series? Asks Brian White. Right. God, I'm having a tough time today. I'm sorry, you guys. Let's put that back up there. God. I don't know about a favorite because they've all been very impactful to me in a lot of different ways. Honestly, the most meaningful one for me was the Benoit two-parter. Again, there would be no Talk Wrestling without more than likely without the Benoit tragedy back in 2007. So 13 years ago, if that story doesn't break, I don't have a career. Honestly, okay, cool. I can do this with that. The blue being in everybody's face. Fuck it. These blue lenses are killing me. I love them. They're great for my eyes. They're just horrible for streaming, and for video production. Yeah. So the Benoit episodes are my favorites, I think, only because of how much they mean to me personally. I did enjoy this last season. Every episode had stuff that I was wanting to hear about, the Road Warriors and Owen and Herb Abrams, of course, being a connection with Aaron. But they're all really good. They're all really, not good, but they're all really insightful. But the Benoit two-parter really tugged at the heartstrings for sure. Jay Gradney, sup, Jeff? How you doing? Again, doing well. I had therapy today. You guys can't see beyond the camera sees, but doing a lot of cleaning in here today, doing a lot of sorting. Donated a huge box of books to my son's now former elementary school this afternoon. So we're getting things going on the move. Things are progressing, slow but sure. It's coming around here. It's taking its time, but it's coming. So yeah, there you go. All right, let's see. I need bifocals or something just to offset the. There we go. I'm not sure what you're asking me there, Bruce. So, hi, Bruce. Thanks for coming, man. Appreciate it. What do I want to see on season 3 of the opener of Dark Side of the Ring? I personally can see an episode of the Downfall WCW. I don't think the Downfall WCW is really dark like some of the stuff they've been talking about. So it's just spastic. Yeah, there's that. Let's see. I'm going to send this. Bear with me, guys. I have a request. If you like Casey Kasem. You kids are going, who the hell is Casey Kasem? You should know that by now. People. I don't know why I did the Greatest Showman just now, but maybe I got backlash on the brain still. I don't know. Anyway. I want to see a Mike Awesome episode. Mike Awesome's story ended dark, but I don't know if it's 100% Dark Side of the Ring dark, if that makes any. I mean, it sounds like it's being what do you call it, snooty or whatever. But there's just, yes, he killed himself. Yes, it sucks, but I don't know if it really is. If there's enough meat on that particular bone to do a full episode on his. Oh, God damn, that was gross. Excuse me. I hate sour for the absolute worst. That's a weird sensual chili burp. Can You guys. Ricky Pollard is here. What's up, Ricky? Thank you for coming in. Appreciate that. But as far as season 3, again, there's some stuff I'd like to hear about. The Von Erichs again. Oh, not again, because we did it already. You know what? I'll get back to that question later. I appreciate that, Bruce. I don't know what that means. Oh, okay, Super Hearts. Got it. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that very, very much. Much appreciated, Bruce. And again, I do need to thank Bruce and everybody at Beck Computers for the initial help in getting this off the ground and the offer to help out along the way with. Right. Yeah. No, yeah. I had to read it first. My brain's all fried. Okay. Now, before I bring this person in, let me say, because I'm going to give you shit as you listen to this, sir. You don't need to ask me publicly to come in. You can send me a private message and I'll bring you in. You and Jay and very few others have that open door. Okay. You don't need to, put a public comment out there and say, can I come in? I will let you in. I promise. I was just going to kind of go as long as I could on my own before I let anybody in, because I really want to get that Russo shit out of the way without anybody's face on the screen and be a dick about it. So bear with me. I will bring you in momentarily. I do need to get the background back up because I forgot. Okay, let's do that. And then come on. Stubby!
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going? The only reason I asked was because of the only reason I asked was because of manners. That's all it was.
Right, but manners would say message me privately.
Well, then we have a different agreement on manners.
Well, I know who raised you. You know who raised me. We'll go from there.
Fine.
Okay. Very good.
Apparently, I've got another request to rant. So if you want to put the disclaimer up, go right ahead.
I think I took it down. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can retype it out. Give me like 2 minutes.
Well, it's partially a continuance of the last rant I did on your feed, because some other topics have come. Some other additions have come up regarding the cartoon stuff, and now with this ever-changing world at which we live in, oh wow, I almost started quoting "Live and Let Die" just now.
Live and let die.
Yeah, really. But I got some other news, and I talked about it with Renegade last night. And he said, just go ahead and speak your mind.
There you go.
So there we go. So continuing from the last rant that I did about the cartoon stuff, there's a meme going out there saying that, and I touched on this also when we did the post-game show for the media. So apparently, because Marvin Martian is an alien creature from outer space, he does not have to abide by whatever laws here on Earth. Therefore, it's okay for him to keep his blaster gun. And
that's horsepucky. I say horsepucky.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's part of the Warner Brothers Looney Tune universe. So either they all carry guns, or they all don't carry guns, or just wipe the whole stuff clean and say that all cartoons are offensive, because everybody in the world is finding the littlest stuff to be offended about, and I'm starting to get sick and tired of it. At some point we're all going to snap, and we're as the Joker said, the world is going to burn, and it's just such a mess right now that we are complaining over food, and we're complaining over the mascots. And I mean, come on. You're going after a mascot, just like with the Looney Tunes, these characters and these mascots have been around for 40, 50, 60 years, and you're just now getting offended? Really? There is a lot more in the world to be upset about than what's sitting on your breakfast table because Uncle Ben, Mrs. Butterworth, Aunt Jemima are all offensive, quote unquote, racist, stereotypical characters. Cat Williams said it best. Y'all hating on breakfast? Really? This is too much. The Confederate flag, the General Lee, all that stuff is, it's like, it's becoming too much. If you strip down, if you take all the colors or all the logos off the General Lee, what do you have? You have an orange car.
Right.
There's nothing more to complain about if you don't like the color orange. You're gonna say what? Orange offends me. Well, unfortunately, there's this thing called color in the world. It's not all black and white. The sky is blue, the grass is green, the traffic light is red, and if you don't like those colors too damn bad, okay? You're saying all this stuff for what possible reason? Because you don't like it? Oh well. There are just some things in the world you don't mess with. And colors and characters and symbols, you know, everybody has that freedom of expression. Everybody, but when you take it to levels to where you're just complaining for the point of complaining, it's not worth it anymore. It's not. It's like saying you don't like the Raiders because they wear black. You don't like the Cowboys because they wear blue. You don't like the Patriots because you're not an American. When's this all going to stop, folks? Stop it. Stop complaining. Get on with your lives. Focus on the bigger problem right now, which is getting this coronavirus out of the United States. Let's focus on that and get everybody healthy so we don't have to wear masks anymore, because now everybody in California, regarding of where you live, has to wear a mask. Yes, I'm sitting outside my door right now, but I'm not wearing my mask. Oh well, I'm in big trouble. No, I'm outside my door. I'm safe right here. This is still my house. Okay? I am not out in public. I'm not at a mall. I'm not at a shopping center. Okay? The mandate in the county of Orange, where I live, has been lifted. But the governor decided to play his "I'm powerful" for the whole entire state, and now the whole state, you have to wear a mask.
Right.
Dustin, good point. I think we touched that last time. I actually did say that if it's not broke, don't fix it, don't reboot it, don't do anything like that. Good point, Dustin. But I think you're a little bit late on that one. So, you know, it's just getting too much. And and then there's that other lady, that viral lady. I think I told you about it. She went up and she said nasty remarks to an Asian man. Why? Because you want to invoke your freedom of speech laws? Is that why you said it? Is it because you think you're a woman and he's not going to retaliate? What if he comes up and defends himself physically because you're saying negative things, which technically he has the right to do? Now, of course, the law has to be detailed. You know, if she strikes first, then he can defend himself, or if he feels threatened, he can then strike. But that's going to be a scary moment too. It's all a big mess. And I was very hesitant to even say these things on your show because I don't want that backlash, you know? I really don't. I don't want someone coming after me because it needs to stop, you know? I get nightmares sometimes at night. I can't sleep because I'm afraid someone's going to recognize me and say, "Oh, there's that guy on the YouTube and he's saying bad things about me." No, I'm not saying bad things about you. I'm saying bad things about everybody in general. That it all needs to stop. You need to stop. You need to stop. You need to stop. You need to stop. and they don't like that. And next thing you know, I'm going to end up on the news for it. I don't want that to happen. So,
right. Let me just. I'm going to cost myself revenue here, and that's fine. But it needs to be addressed. It needs to be said again, and I feel that it's a long time coming. So.
Oh, what happened? I love that scene.
I do too, and it's so telling right now. So.
The only problem I have with that scene is that Watch Mojo named it the #2 rewatched scene in superhero movies.
Well, of course it is, because
No, it
it's. Well, what was number 1 out of curiosity?
The final battle in Infinity Wars or in Endgame.
Well, I mean, remember the final battle in Endgame is a happy ending, right? I mean, okay, spoiler alert. Yeah, Tony dies and whatever, but it's still a happy ending for the most part. That scene leads to serious shit. so it's seriously dark shit at that. So it's I get why it's only number 2. I feel it's number 1. You feel it's number 1, and it's very telling of the way the world is right now. So that's what we have to deal with. And, it's unfortunate. And let's just go to the comments here. Let's see. First of all, we've got Americans don't know how to handle any issue without being arrogant and dumb. I'm guessing you're not from America, which is fine. Not your prerogative. Big G, I don't like any of the new cartoons. I like the cartoons we grew up on. Agreed. I found out something. I don't know if you knew this, being a former cast member. Did you know that there is a drink that is served or offered at a certain club in New Orleans that is called Tom and Jerry?
I did not.
I'll have to. I think I have it. If I can reach it without causing a ruckus, I will get it.
Is it alcohol?
Yes.
Oh.
Where's my bag of goodies? I don't see my bag of goodies, which is not good. Fuck it. Okay. Basically, it's like a. You know what? I'll show it on Monday. How about that? We'll do that. But yeah, when I went and ate at Club 33 in November, I was asking about their spirit menu because I liked the way the leather-bound cover looked and liked the different things they offered up. And not that I could afford any of them because I'm broke as hell, but I liked the look of the menu and I liked what they had to offer. And I said, I know you guys can't sell the menu because you don't want to, or copy menu because you don't want it leaving. Is there any way I can get like just like a copy of this, just like a list or something? And the hostess went back. She was gone a good long time and came back with an entire thing about that thick. She had photostated the entire spirit menu and said, here you go.
Wow.
I was like, shit. So I sent the Club 33 exclusives to our certain the Henderson Hottie last night. And I said, when I come up, we're making these. She goes, ooh, fancy. I said, Club 33, it has to be. So
there you go.
Anyway.
And since we're talking about the mouse,
yes.
I still don't agree with Song of the South being racist because I don't see it as racist. I see it as a gentleman telling a boy about stories, and just because of the way he talked, that's the time period, that's the setting of the film, okay? And sadly, it's historically accurate because that's how things happened, I guess, I would assume it took place in like the 1800s or maybe even earlier than that.
Stop. Okay. I know it's your segment and it doesn't reflect my view, but stop before you shoot yourself.
Well, I'm just saying overall, I don't see it as racist. I don't see it as offensive. And that's not just because I'm a former Disney. I just don't see it as that. I see it as history, and I see it as somebody telling a story with a few characters that just happen to have an accent. And this whole thing at Disneyland to repackage Splash Mountain, they're just getting ready to open their doors. And because everyone's throwing a fit, it'll still be summertime. What's the one thing to do at Disneyland to cool off? Go on Splash Mountain, okay?
Right.
You Splash Mountain, you get that blast of cold water. But because you want them to shut it down and stop it, they package it, you're going to have a lot of hot, sticky guests, and drinking a bottle of water will not cool you off. You know, Disney does not have a water park out there, so you know you can't just jump into the rivers of America because Lord knows what's in that water. I mean, even though it's technically not deep enough to, I mean, it's, well, I don't want to ruin all the secrets, but let's face it, with all the runoff of the steamships or whatever fuel and the ducks that actually swim in the water, you know, do you really want to go in there? No, you don't. So, you know, it's just getting too much. I mean, what's going to happen next? You know, I'm surprised when Kofi and Biggie did their honorable ring entrance that people didn't hate on that. You know, I was, oh, they did that because of what happened to George Floyd, and I don't like that. WWE has their own problems because have you seen the reports on down there? Yeah.
I'm waiting for you to stop so I can say what I was going to say about Song of the South.
Okay, go ahead.
The main beef with Song of the South is it glorifies plantation life, when historical documentation clearly says otherwise about what happened to the Black community living on plantations, particularly in the South. So I encourage you, if you have a copy of Song of the South, Mike, to first of all go either read or watch documentaries or whatever, like historically factual documentaries about the life of a Southern Black person in the 1800s, then watch Song of the South. And if you can honestly tell me that it's okay, I will leave you alone.
Well, it's going to be difficult to find Song of the South because it's not on Disney Plus. It's not on DVD.
I have a feeling that you and I have a mutual friend that has a copy of it.
Well,
he has everything else, so
it's a possibility, but we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes.
I just honestly, I understand where you're coming from, and I even understand your disagreement with changing Splash Mountain. If there was a problem with Song of the South content in 1940, whatever it came out, the ride should have been built in the first place with that as the theme. So either, hang on, my turn. Either stick with it or don't. Quit being so easily politically swayed. Okay. Again, I am the whitest boy in the room. I've said that since I got back from Teresa's, riding the train and going to the Union Station after the riots, and I was freaked the fuck out, okay? But I also don't understand why it's a continued thing. Like, either it is or it isn't. And it hadn't been for that ride opened, I believe, 31 years ago. So whatever. And I agree with Dustin Grimes. Let's talk wrestling. It is talk wrestling after all. So let's get back in wrestling discussion. And I'm sorry, again, we kind of went off in the weeds, and the disclaimer is there at the bottom for Mikey. So
I mean, I could talk about wrestling a lot more, but it's difficult when all this other stuff happens.
Right. No, I understand what you're saying.
And you can compare it to wrestling in some way, shape, or form, like when you repackage a superstar in the way. But it's just kind of hard to talk about the product when
right.
With I mean, I can talk about my books. I'm still working on those, and I'm still.
Here we go. Here's a good question. Here you go. Sorry. Have you guys seen the accusations against Jordan Devlin? I haven't. Can anybody fill me in the comments on that? I heard. I can't talk.
I don't honestly. I don't even know who Jordan Devlin is.
Jordan Devlin is the current cruiserweight champion who has been stuck across the pond and unable to defend, which is why they crowned. God Phantasma, whatever his name is, the cruiserweight champion in the tournament, because Jordan Devlin couldn't get across to defend.
Was it because of COVID?
Not that he's sick. He just couldn't leave.
Oh, because it's like travel bans.
Basically. Trying to see Jordan Devlin. Oh, accused of assault. So that's happy.
Oh, lovely.
Lovely. Let's see. Come on. Wake up, little website. Wake up. Allegations were made against the wrestler in the UK, and all signs point to Jordan Devlin. Hannah Francesca has confirmed that the person she is referring to in previous tweets is Jordan Devlin. Francesca is also posted photos of bruises on her body that she says came at the hands of Devlin. Devlin, who hasn't posted since this morning, has not yet addressed the allegations, but I would assume whatever. Devlin is one of NXT's UK's top stars and still holds the original Cruiserweight Championship, but is not able to wrestle due to travel restrictions. The Twitter post with the photos from Hannah's are posted below. So person named Hannah Francesca at Textbook Glovers has pictures of her pretty bruised up.
Well,
and she's claiming that Jordan Devlin did it to her. That's the news that they're talking about.
And they still have a zero tolerance for domestic violence, right?
I believe they do. Now, I am not one to stand on the perch of defending that. Trust me. But in society, innocent to proven guilty, even the wife beaters and the whatever, I want to see formal charges. I want to see all that first, all that before I start, prosecuting Jordan Devlin in the court of Meach. I don't think it's necessary. It sucks if it happened, and it's unfortunate if it happened. But I don't have any proof other than a person's saying, "Hey, he did this to me." And in the world we live in, it's he said, she said. So, all right.
Yeah.
Who would be your Mount Rushmore of WWE? Not sure if I asked this time or the last time or not. I don't think you asked it last time, Josh. I've been asked that question repeatedly over the years. So while I rethink my answer, Mikey?
My Mount Rushmore. Okay, well, it is a popular question. So obviously, Ric Flair has to go up there.
Woo!
I mean, with all, yep. Obviously, Hulk Hogan, because
I don't have my Hulk shirt.
all he's done. I'm probably gonna go Flair, Hogan, Sting, and Warrior. That's my Mount Rushmore.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of like
now hang on. It does say WWE. Keep that in mind.
Well, Sting was WWE for a hot minute, so that counts, doesn't it?
Sting was WWE for about 6 months at the tail end of his career when he was not Sting anymore, really.
Damn, I hate technicalities. All right. So
your list. You do you, boo. Just saying.
Well, if we have to go full on WWE with not, well, then maybe you got to throw Vince in there.
Okay.
If you think about it, I mean, he created it, so he should go up there.
Right.
So if it's just WWE, then it's going to go Vince, Flair, Hogan, and Warrior. There you go.
Dustin Grimes says Flair, Hogan, Austin, Cena. How you leave off Steve Austin astounds me, honestly, Mike. But it's your list. So Josh's is Undertaker, Flair, Shawn, Cena. So he also left off. You guys are killing me, Smalls. I understand. I get it that Flair is arguably the greatest in-ring performer of all time. I totally get with that. But
I should be done quick, please.
Okay. Mikey's muted, so I can say what I want to say while he's not talking to his roommate. So, for me, if you're talking strictly WWF, WWE history, the Mount Rushmore, I feel, should be the guys that, really molded what became WWE. So, Bruno Sammartino, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, John Cena.
There you go. Everybody's different, so there's no wrong answer to any of this.
No, there's no wrong answer. Now, on the flip side, Kobe asks about WCW. Now we get into the Flair and Sting discussion. Those two are definitely on that list, without question. Ric Flair and Sting were the cornerstones of WCW at a time where the WWF was wrestling. Like nobody said wrestling and thought WCW or NWA. They thought WWF. So for me, WCW's Mount Rushmore would be Ric Flair, Sting, Goldberg. I hate that, but
well, if you don't like it, you don't put it up there.
Well, it's for me. It's not about like. It's about who I feel belongs in. Unfortunately, Goldberg. Goldberg was the guy. So Flair, Sting, Goldberg, and because you can't put one without the other two in the WCW Mount Rushmore, you had to put the NWO on one section of that mountain as a unit. Just the original three: Hogan, Hall, Nash. Because Flair and Sting built the foundation. The NWO picked up the ball and ran for the touchdown. Goldberg spiked the ball. So it's it is what it is.
I will agree with Flair and Sting. I will throw in AA.
Okay.
I'll throw in AA.
Okay.
And I almost want to say Bischoff, but if I'm saying Bischoff, then I'm stealing your Goldberg play because I really didn't like him as a person, really, because all I saw was the character and how much I hated him, and I never really liked Eric Bischoff. But what he did for the business is the same thing you said with Goldberg, so I guess I can go with that.
Yep. All right, now one more before I get to Wrestling Fan 98. I see your paragraph, so bear with me.
A paragraph, oh boy.
ECW Mount Rushmore. For me, the franchise: Shane Douglas, Taz, Rob Van Dam, and Sabu.
I'm Rob, Sandman, Sabu, and Taz. You left out Sandman, I think. So Sandman's your boy.
Okay. Sandman happened to be on my show once. Rob is my boy, first of all.
Yeah.
Rob's my boy. Shane Douglas was a guest on Extreme Mayhem also back in E-Day. Taz, again, not a fan of Peter Senertia, and he blocked me, so whatever. But I can't ignore his contributions to ECW. And Sabu was their guy before they had a guy, right? So, but again, the point that the Wrestling Fan 98 makes it is very good. And Mount Rushmore for wrestling is impossible to make because there are many wrestlers who deserve full recognition and acknowledgement for their contributions in the business as a whole. 4 isn't enough. And Dustin Grimes says we need an entire periodic table for wrestling. Yeah, exactly. That's it. I would love to get a panel going at some point to say, okay, these people definitely belong in the Wrestling Hall of Fame, be it their WWE thing, WCW, whatever. Like these 20 to 25 people, these are it. These are the definitive folks. Mm-hmm. I'd love to do that at some point. Throwing it out there, everybody that wants to join in there. So there's something to look forward to. Maybe maybe this coming Tuesday when I have nothing to do and I'm bored to tears on Tuesday afternoon prior to or after the NWA's YouTube show.
I'm definitely in bored to tears. I almost bought the Dodge Charger from Fast and the Furious. I found it today. The Lego set, the 100-piece one.
I was like, you bought a Charger with what money and what license? I was about to kick your ass.
No. It's Toretto's from Fast and the Furious.
Right. Ironically, we may have one in the driveway by the end of the week.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh. I think I remember why. Okay, cool.
That
That's
little
cool,
Kia
man.
went a long way. So
And now you get a Dodge Charger?
apparently Dad does. Yes, we'll see. Either a Charger or a
Well, that's
Challenger, one or the other.
I would go with the Charger.
All right, here we go.
Challenge.
Here we go. Here's the refutal I was looking for from somebody besides me. So thank you, Wrestling Fan 98. Sorry, but Warrior doesn't deserve to be on the Mount Rushmore. He came across to me as very unfair and selfish. It was literally all about him and how much money he could make without him taking into consideration the budget available. Mike, drop. And Hogan doesn't come across selfish too. Dude, I am all in on Hogan completely screwing Bret Hart at WrestleMania 9. I am all in on that. I hate that looking back. Of course, when you're 10 years old and you're watching a pay-per-view, yay, Hulkster, woo, woo, you know, I'm waving my red and yellow flag, you know, whatever. But here I am, 37, going, that was fucked up. So, you know, it was a dick move. It really was. So, I am not now. As far WrestleMania 9, yeah, it was a bad thing. But when you look at the overall picture and overall scope in wrestling that Hogan created, and not only created, but he was at his lowest. He was on the steroid thing. He got in trouble. He got immunity by testifying against Vince. He went to WCW on a whim, thinking maybe there might be something here. He becomes the hottest bad guy in the business for a couple of years, and you know, reinvented himself time after time. It was awesome. So I'm okay with Hogan's contributions. Warrior, I didn't like the Warrior when I was a kid. I mean, I didn't. So I just never got the shtick. I thought it was way too hokey, even in 1990s wrestling. So it just wasn't my thing. And I was not upset when he left every single time. So that's why I was like, when you said Warrior.
Now that I think about it, I think the Warrior Papa Shango storyline was what made my mom not let me watch wrestling.
Right?
That it's only a guess. My memories. I mean, I do remember her seeing the WrestleMania 7's story with Sherry, Elizabeth, and Savage, and she didn't quite understand why Savage was threatening to hit Elizabeth when it was really Sherry who was doing it.
Right.
And I had to yell out, "It's just like your soap operas."
Yeah.
Because I think I had also just found out in reality that they were married in real life and all this. And I think, I think my mom had said something like, well, if they're married, why is he treating her like this? Because, you know, he was all pointing at her and like, oh, you hit me when I was down. No, they get the happy ending later. They get to go to SummerSlam and they get to have their marriage and they get to be happily ever after. Of course, I didn't mention the wedding reception with the little garter snake coming out of the present, but and honestly, that little garter snake was not scary enough. I mean,
right. Although, you know, for me as a kid, it was like, it's so funny. I look back, I don't know where it is. It's here in this house somewhere. I got the Coliseum home video release of SummerSlam. It was my first ever WWF video ever.
Right.
Along with that video package came a save the date magnet or stick on, not magnet. It was suction. What the fuck are they called? The little things with little suction cups where you stick it to a wall or I forget what they're called, but it had Randy and Liz's engagement picture in there. Like, nice. Somewhere it's here. Hogan was selfish too, but the difference is he was such a good talker and bigger than life character. Okay, yes, Warrior was also a bigger than life character, but he made no damn sense. So there was that. Let's see. Hogan was good. He did a lot, but I think other names have definitely surpassed him now. I mean, he was 23 on the 50 greatest talkers of all time. Well, see, again, there's been a lot of great talkers. There's no question about that. It's, for me, even now as a almost 40-year-old.
You're getting there.
Shut up. I'll kill you where you sit.
You don't know where my house is.
I know. I'll find it. I will just bomb point a park and not worry about it. I don't give a shit. Whatever.
I'm looking for Stat Boy. Where is he?
Sorry, where is he? You know where he is, Beagle. I'll find him. Anyway, I will punch you, Charlie Brown. Tell me where he is, you blockhead.
That was good. I needed that. Thank you.
No problem. I forgot the hell I was saying now. I had no idea where I was. I'll get there. Let me think.
Hogan.
Oh, yeah, Hogan. Okay. Yeah. So, to this day, just the color scheme and the intensity and the energy, like I can put on a Hulk Hogan entrance. I'll put on his song and just stand here in my room and start doing this shit just randomly. It's just, he just draws me in. So the Warrior music is awesome. I love the entrance. I love the intensity. I love that. I love the presentation. Once the bell rings, it hurts. It hurts a lot. So Hogan proved he could wrestle because he did it in Japan and he did it here in the States when he needed to. Right? But Warrior just was never a good worker. He was never going to be a good worker. He was everything that Sting wasn't, which is why Sting, his partner, went where he went and Warrior went where he went. And just to give Mikey a little boost in the pants here, there you go. That's for you, Stat Boy. I love these talkie wrestlings with Stat Boy. He makes them funnier and gives good company and flow to the show.
Thank you, wrestling fan.
Just me on your device.
Go to Teespring, Greg Cherry Brand, and if you love the show, show your support and buy us that Boy Approved shirt, please. Thank you.
There you go. And to further Warriors' comment, how would have all you know about Warriors in ring abilities? Yeah, exactly.
There it is.
Sorry.
All right.
I'm being told by my sister that my son's voicemail is long and tedious. So
all right. Well,
I'll say that. Thank you for coming on, Mikey. I agree. I know we've been on for a while now, so I appreciate you coming on. So let me, since you plugged it, I'll go ahead and throw the banner up there just because I can. It's my show. I can do the hell I want to do. Teespring.com/store/Greg Cherry Brand. There that is right there. You can find all those shirts and more, including the Stat Boy shirt, Stat Boy approved, hashtag Stat Boy approved, I should say, as well as the Henderson Hottie, all the Greg Cherry Brand and Cherry 2 Belt shirts, all the Wrestling Trivia Challenge, Centric shirts, Jeff Can Count, etc., and so forth. What do you got going on the weekend, brother? Because don't forget, Saturday at 7 Eastern, we're doing the NoDQ review, so you can watch us do our thing on NoDQ for the 100th time.
Oh, yeah, that. I totally forgot about that.
It was supposed to be in about 10 minutes, but we had shenanigans come up, so we had to postpone. So
I'm still, like I said, just working on the books. I'm currently on Judgment Day 07 with the pay-per-views, and still working on Cena's book. So we're in the feud with Great Khali over the title.
Oh, yuck!
So if you remember those storylines, the last thing was the Monday Night Raw episode where Cena was fighting Orton, and Khali just came to the ring, grabbed the belt, and started walking away. And Cena went up and attacked, and Khali hits him on top of the head, and the show goes off the air. We don't know what happened. And I might have to go in and redo the if they don't announce the winner, it's a no contest rule, because that's coming up a lot. And WWE is not being very consistent with their previous shows. If you go to their archives on their website, a lot of the old shows from like 05 to 07 are blank. They have no results whatsoever. So they either need to fix that, or I just need to keep it my way.
Are you holding your phone or something, Mikey?
Oops, Sorry about that.
There we
Yes.
go. There we go. There we go.
I have to invest in one of those things you put on the back of your devices to keep your phone steady. Anyway, that's what I'm working on. Follow me on Twitter at LBSexkid1977. Drop me a line, ask me a question. I'll be more than happy to help out. If you have any topics you want me to rant about, throw those into the comments as well. And if Jeff is cool with it, we'll take care of it. If not, I'll send you a personal message.
Sounds good. Stat Boy out.
No way out.
All right. Let's see. Where do we go here? Dustin Grimes. I'd love to hear my top 50. That'll be a thing one day, I'm sure. I'll have a top 50 wrestlers of all time. But again, it's all subjective. It's whoever wants to whatever they want to, what do you call it? It's everybody's opinion, right? Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. They usually stink, right? So that's just the way that is there. Have I ever been abroad? I have not. I've been into Florida, and I've been into the southeast part of the United States, and I've been to Pennsylvania a couple times, Gettysburg and Oil City. I've been to Baltimore. I've been to Oregon a couple times. I've been to Vegas many times, but never outside of the lower 48, except for into Tijuana briefly. Bring back the facepalm question of the week. Sure. If I get one today, you'll see it for sure. Big G's still here. What's up, Big G? Let's see. There it goes. Thanks for coming in, Big G. I appreciate it, brother. Ric Flair is the best talker ever. Do you agree? For me, he is. He's one of the best. He's definitely one of the best. Again, the best, subjective, very subjective. It depends who you talk to. Some say Rick, some say Shawn Michaels, some say The Rock, some say Hunter, some say Hogan, some say Vince and Bischoff and Heyman. So there you go. Big G still watching Friday the 13th. That's awesome. I'm working on getting the original 8, the first 8. I do have the Final Friday and Jason X and the remake from 2009 now, so I'll be ready for October and early and late September. I'm going to definitely do my thing in the later part of the year for horror movies and Christmas movies. I have Christmas stuff lined up too, so maybe I'll do some watch-alongs or some reviews as I go through them, because a lot of these I haven't seen before. So I will be keeping you guys more informed on that as I go forward in my year. So Josh says, I would say Miz is the best current talker in WWE right now. I would have to agree. He's one of the best, without question. And in the world we live in, as far as the times we live in, it's hard to argue with Miz not being the guy. So Dustin Grimes, I'm going to try to get a facepalm. Psycho Sid Vicious has the best promos of all time. There you go. There it is. Don't try for it. It's funnier when they're not trying to be a dummy. It's better that way. Do I think Edge is done for good? Just a guess. You don't have to be right. No. I think this triceps thing is going to set him back. That's for sure. But I think he'll be back again at the court later. And he popped. There you go. So, no, he'll be back. You're welcome, Stat Boy. Thanks for coming on, brother. I appreciate you. Actually, let's give him a heart. I'm just too cute like that. All right. Let's see. Dustin Grimes says, yeah, because that's the thing. So, anybody else before I go into my spiel? Because I'm going to go into the spiel. That's just like saying Julian's the best singer. Damn. It's funny because it's true. I'm looking to be done at 7, because I was going to be done at 7 either way. Whether I was done or not, I was going to be done at 7 because I wanted to get off the computer for a while and get back to work on the room. I'm kind of getting burnt out from wrestling, Big G says. Still watching it though. Yeah. See, I don't tend to get burned out like I used to. I can watch old stuff anytime. The new stuff bugs, but I can watch old stuff anytime as long as that's something I wanted to watch. You know what? I agree with you, Josh. Vince Russo being a good booker or relevant period is definitely much like saying Sid is the best promo of all time. And with that, we're going to go into the plugs. So I can't top that for controversy. I started it with him, I'll end it with him. So there we go. Tomorrow, don't forget, right here on the Jeff Meacham Network, across the actually on YouTube and Anchor, I'll say, because it's not going to be on Facebook or Twitter, but the King of the Ring show for JJ and I on Dads of Wrestling. It'll be the top 10 tournament matches and the top non-tournament pay-per-view matches in the history of the King of the Ring from 1993 all the way until present day, so 2020, because we're not doing the pre-93 stuff because a lot of it's not on TV, so I can't really speak on it, if you will. I do want to get to this question because I missed it before. It was sent in more than a few days ago now. What it says today's date? So 10 days ago. Mr. Yuck says, could guys like Adam Cole, Gargano, and Tommaso really go to, say, Daniel Bryan-esque levels if or when they're called to the main roster? Does their size factor into potential main event status? Yes, it does factor in. Yes, they can be Bryan level status. I don't think they will, though, because Daniel Bryan is a whole other level of these guys from the indies compared to Cole and Gargano and Ciampa and Keith Lee and everybody else that's come up in the last 10 years. Bryan Danielson is a whole other animal. He's a dragon. He's a whole other level of intensity and credibility and just amazing athletes. So again, just there is no comparison in my opinion. So yeah. So let me go ahead and get rid of that first of all, and then I will. Don't know if I uploaded that, so I'll go ahead and do that right now. Anyway, let me get to some of the comments here so I can do these really quick here. Wrestling fans, there's nothing about WWE that's enthralling me as of now. I would agree with that. I'm a diehard WWE fan. Is that justified? And yeah, it is justified. It very much is. It's the WWE product right now, and it's not entirely their fault, right? It's just a matter of the fact that they are so their ability to do things creatively seems to be hindered. And I don't know if it's them doing it themselves or if it's just where did it go? Why did it not show up? Sorry guys, bear with me. I'm gonna do it this way. I'm doing this the wrong way. And it's going to take me too long to do it the way I want to do it, so I'm just going to do it a different way. Anyway, yeah, WWE's, I don't know why they seem so cramped or crimped, I should say, creatively. They've got so many talented people in that pool of employees between the roster, the wrestlers themselves, and the people on the producer side of things. I don't understand why they have such a hard time with that level of their departments as far as getting creative stories told and making things happen. It's very frustrating. It's got to be frustrating for the boys too and the girls, that are working every day. It's got to drive them crazy because there's so much talent in that office, on that roster, I should say, not in that roster. That they just don't seem to really pay a whole lot of attention to it, if that makes sense. Why is it all splotchy? I did this before too. It did that a long time ago when I was let's see. I don't want the green screen on. Yeah, I know that. Okay, camera, general. Oh well. Anyway, let's see. Do you think you should watch Long Tales from the Crypt? Yeah, no, not happening. Do you think it was watched WWE still put out shows during the pandemic? Because now I heard they have to stop tapings because, yeah, I heard that as well. Actually, No DQ Review is not live right now, Kobe. It's going to be live on Saturday. I guess you missed that at the top of the show. We're not going live today. We're going live Saturday. There's been circumstances beyond our control that have come up today, so we're going live on Saturday afternoon at 7 Eastern, or 7 Eastern, Saturday evening. Saturday afternoon for me. Anyway, let me get to my last things here. So I did the guys' answer, so thank you for that. I plugged ads. So Aftermatch Wrestling on YouTube, please check those guys out. I can't recommend them enough. They're awesome. I love those guys at Aftermatch. They're the best, and they know they're NXT. They love covering NXT, and cannot recommend them enough. And of course, teespring.com/store/Jeff-Meacham-Network for your Meachamania shirts, for your Jeff Meacham Network shirts, tanks, and tapestries, for your Talk Wrestling shirt like I'm wearing, and for the Wrestling Rewind shirts as well. There are other shirts there. I'm just not plugging them because I'm going to get rid of them eventually, so there's no point in plugging them if I don't want them to sell, right? So, and of course, you can find us across Anchor.fm/Jeff Meacham Network. You can find us on Spotify, on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and so much more. Again, trying to work very hard on getting those all uploaded and getting them uploaded and published because they're just too good to be ignored. And I really want you guys to be able to hear me if you don't necessarily want to watch my face. Don't blame you there, but so there's that. Thank you guys for watching today. I don't understand. I don't know why the shot's so splotchy here at the end, so I'm sorry. But thank you guys for watching today. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow for Dads on Wrestling for everything related to King of the Ring. And we will see you guys also Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, whatever you want to call it, 7 to 4 Pacific on the NoDQ.com YouTube channel for the No DQ Review, episode 100. I am Jeff Meacham saying we'll see you next time on the Jeff Meacham Network.